Okay, so we are meeting over pages 198 through 243 of Bud Not Buddy. My four questions are, how do you feel about how the author ended the book? What do you think about Herman continuing the rock thing and writing on the rocks even after his daughter left? And I know it doesn't say it in the book, but what are your hopes for the relationship of Herman and Bud? And then why do you think Bud's mom never told him about Herman, and why did she change her last name to be different from her actual last name? So, Hannah, do you want to summarize first?
Yeah. So chapter 17 starts out with Bud traveling along with the band, and he's building relationships with all these people. He got his nickname previously, and so now he's really become part of the family, and it seems like he's going to be sticking around, although he still has a hard time with Herman Calloway. And it's okay because he decides he doesn't like him, but he still knows, like, in his heart, he's like, I know I'm related to him. I know he's my dad. Then he notices that Herman Calloway bends over and picks up a rock. And when he picks up the rock, he writes on it, and he says, hey, I have rocks too. And he was I think he was, when he did that, he was trying to form a bond with him, like, hey, we have that in common. And then when he sees the rest of Herman's rocks, he sees that they are written on just like the ones he has. And then when they get home, he shows him the rocks, or no, it was in the car that he shows him the rocks. And when he finally looks at him, he accuses him of stealing them. He accuses Bud of stealing them from him. And he tells him that they were his mom's, that his mom gave them to him. And when he does that, Herman Calloway realizes that his mother is, that Bud's mother is his daughter, thereby making Bud his grandson. And then they all kind of understand that. Bud goes into the room with Herman in there. He gets the picture out of his suitcase to take it downstairs to show to Miss Thompson. And they basically know at that point that that's who he is. And the last part of the book is when Bud is unpacking and making himself at home in his room, because now he knows, kind of, I think there's a assurance to him at that point where he knows he's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Erin, do you want to do the word wizard?
Sure. My first word is squabs, which means inexperienced person. The squabs were only able to plug 10,000 of the leaks we have. That means we have 10,000 left. And dadgummit, I think we're going down with all hands on board. That was page 198 when he was mopping the floor. Slacking, work slowly or lazily. Page, I didn't write down the page. I'll have to find the page. Some folks can look at you and tell if you're even thinking about slacking off. Stiffed means to cheat someone out of something, especially money. We haven't been stiffed yet, and that was on page 206. Snatch, an act of snatching or quickly seizing something. I kept watching his hand, waiting for a chance to snatch my rocks and get out of there. Now it's page 210. And then insinuating, hinting at something bad in an indirect and unpleasant way. James, what are you insinuating? And that's on page 216. So that's what I had for that.
Okay, Haley, do you want to do the connector?
Yeah, so at the beginning of this section that we read, I was kind of connecting myself towards, like, when they said he could stay there, that they were going to give him, like, chores and stuff to do, because, like, I always had chores growing up. But then, like, after I thought about it more, I think I could connect myself to him or this book, because when I was 7, I lost my dad, so I can just, like, relate, like, losing a parent in that situation around the same age.
Sorry for your loss, Haley. That's sad.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yes, it's tough, but I mean, everything happens for a reason, I guess. Kind of like how we're all going downhill with coronavirus.
Okay. Oh, geez.
And
Well,
then
positive
Kate?
thinking. That's what we need. Positive thinking. Yes. Hello?
for your
You want to
illustration,
see my art?
yes.
You are going to just watch. Just look and be amazed. Okay, here it is. Can you see it?
Oh,
Oh, that's
did you
awesome.
draw that?
Okay, here we are.
She
Here is
drew that.
Buddy with his hand on his dad's shoulder. Okay.
I just got goosebumps,
Here's his
Kate.
part of life. Here's the rocks. The rocks meant so much. I named every rock, like Flint, and I put all the different little rocks that they have with the different names and times. And it went from Buddy Caldwell to Buddy Calloway. There's the trumpet. That's part of his the saxophone. That's part
I
of his
know, I
life
forgot
now.
to put that.
And then look, there's the door. It was the last door. He said something about the squeaking from his horn. If you had a very good imagination, it sounded like the door opening, and like his mom always said. So there's the door. I couldn't make it open, but it was supposed to open. And then down at the bottom, let me look what's at the bottom. That's the last rock, and it's got grandfather, mom, Buddy, grandson down there. See,
Aw.
that's all. Do you see it?
Saw
Okay,
it,
these are my
saw
favorites
it.
here. That's not part of the episode. See, I take art. I take an art class.
Yeah, me too. And mine doesn't look like that.
Yeah, mine is like a first grader's work.
Okay.
Mhm.
And if you notice,
Your ed
well,
teacher.
see all the little rocks going down the saxophone, because they all see how they all add up to the big rocks at the top. That's all a Buddy thing there. See? Yeah. Okay. that's my illustration.
I'm mad at myself for forgetting about the part where they gave him a saxophone, because I thought that was such a neat thing that they gave him.
That was the
Dented up, like that was important to him. Again, it just made him feel part of the family. I'm adding that to my summary, Kenzie.
yes.
Okay.
Very good.
I
Slacking's
really
on
wish they
page
would make another one.
199, just in case you were wondering.
I wish there was a second book to this.
I know, I love
I
it.
know. Me too.
Yeah, but when you read a lot of books, don't you wish there was a second book to find out what you thought should have happened but didn't?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
read that a lot.
Yeah, and a lot of times when there's there's sequels, they don't live up to.
Yeah, what you're expecting.
I think
No,
that's what makes
I
it
agree.
good about not having a sequel, is that we can kind of make our own ending. And I think your questions, Kenzie, were really good, because it shows us it gives us thought about what maybe happened. I don't know. We can decide
Yes.
for ourselves. If I don't like the ending of a movie or something, I make up my own ending anyways. I look at my husband. I'm saying, okay, this is not what happened. Let me tell you what really happened. We're gonna Desperate Housewives, the final season of Desperate Housewives. That didn't happen. Mike doesn't really die. If you haven't seen it, sorry.
Yes, it's awful.
I
Don't even know
forgot
what-
that happened because I had convinced myself that they live happily ever after. So when I went back and watched it, I was like, I forgot.
That was the weirdest ending
Do
ever.
any of you guys watch The Bachelor?
Yes.
What the hell?
I agree.
Okay. Use corn dog. Corn dog works better in these instances. It doesn't sound as bad as that other language. Corn dog.
Sorry.
Remember that. Corn dog.
Okay, Kenzie, did we have anything else we needed to cover?
I don't think so.
Okay, then I'm going to end this, and then
Okay.